Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple N Media. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM. Oh, I'm so sleepy. I think I need to get a cup of coffee. Oh, yeah, talking about coffee. Maybe we should talk about coffee. What do you say? I was talking to an 83-year-old lady in my office. I asked her, "Ma'am, do you drink coffee?" And she said, "Yes." I asked her, "How many cups of coffee do you drink per day?" And she said, "5 cups of coffee." I said, "Do you realize coffee is a slow poison?" She said, "It must be, Dr. Nick. It is still trying to catch up with me." Well, I feel a little better now. Maybe I can skip that coffee. Okay, let's talk about coffee, or caffeine, I should say. Caffeine is found in a number of different products such as coffee, tea, chocolate. I didn't think it was in chocolate, but it is in chocolate. And of course, sodas. Sodas are famous for caffeine. And some energy drinks, which we're going to talk about, and some medications too, like Excedrin and other medicines. And some nuts. No, 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 no. I was not talking about human nuts. I'm talking about the real nuts, the nutritious nuts that you see on the television. Yes, I'm talking about nuts. All right, let's look at how much caffeine is in all these different items. Because every time you turn around, you say, "Oh, this one has too much caffeine and this has very little caffeine." Okay, let's look at this. Here's a chart which shows one cup of regular coffee has anywhere from 50 to 60 milligrams of caffeine. Brewed coffee, on the other hand, has approximately 115 milligrams of caffeine. Sodas have from 25 to 65 milligrams of caffeine, and your energy drinks, they are the biggest culprits. You need to read the labels because some of them may have as much as 200 or maybe even 300 milligrams of caffeine. And of course, there are caffeine tablets. Did you know some athletes take caffeine tablets? You didn't know that. I didn't know that either until I did research. Anyway, these caffeine tablets have 200 milligrams of caffeine. But the healthcare professionals recommend no more than 300 milligrams of caffeine. Is caffeine good or bad? Well, it depends on who you talk to. Let's look at some of the effects of caffeine. Caffeine increases your heart rate. It increases your blood pressure. It can cause palpitations. It can precipitate irregular heart rhythms. It also acts on the brain. It interferes with your sleeping mechanism. It's also been shown to increase the LDL, the bad cholesterol, in certain people. Because caffeine is a stimulant, it also stimulates cortisol and adrenaline. These are all stress hormones which are produced when we are in a state of anxiety or in a state of fear. And caffeine also acts on the kidneys. It increases urine production. That's why as soon as you drink a cup of coffee, you feel like you have to rush to the restroom. And of course, for some people, it increases acidity in the stomach. Some of these effects may be beneficial because if you're trying to stay awake, caffeine could help you. On the other hand, drinking too much caffeine can be harmful. Okay, let's look at some of the harmful effects of caffeine. If you are drinking 5 cups or more of coffee per day, it increases the risk of heart disease by twofold, or it doubles the risk of heart disease. If you cut down your caffeine intake to less than 2 to 3 cups of coffee per day, then the risk is the same as that we see in a normal population. So it is very important from a heart point of view that not only was I not joking when I was talking to that 83-year-old patient. It has been shown in statistical studies that those who drink more than 5 cups of coffee have twice the risk of getting heart disease. So keep that in mind. Caffeine can also affect your brain function. As I said, it interferes with your sleep. So that's another reason you don't want to be drinking coffee late in the evening, because then you will be awake during the daytime and you may be feeling sleepy on the road or on the job, and both of which are not good for your health and your pocketbook. Okay, let's say you got scared because I said it can double your heart disease risk, and it can affect your ability to sleep at night and may make you sleepy during the working hours. Let's say you decide to stop caffeine. What are some of the side effects of stopping caffeine abruptly? Certainly, you don't want to stop caffeine abruptly, but nonetheless, just like smoking, when you try to get rid of an excessive habit, you are going to experience some withdrawal symptoms. You may have headache, anxiety, nervousness, jitteriness, and you may feel drowsy. And some people may experience mild degrees of depression. However, when it comes to withdrawal of caffeine, you don't want to do it abruptly. Maybe if you're drinking 4 cups of coffee, you want to cut it down to like 2, and then maybe eventually go to 1, and eventually go to decaffeinated drink, and then finally drop it. Especially if you're drinking sodas with large doses of caffeine, let me caution you, not only are you getting large doses of caffeine, you're also getting huge amounts of sugar. So if you're addicted to soft drinks, you can get rid of 2 problems by eliminating the soft drink. Number 1, you can cut down the number of calories. Number 2, you can cut down the number of caffeine. So eventually you can go to like caffeine-free diet drinks and switch over to or move on to plain water. Oh, that's the best drink. Plain water. Just keep a bottle of water. I tell you, starvation can teach a lot of things to our human psychology. If you just don't have it in the refrigerator, you're not going to be rushing to drink those soft drinks because they are adding a lot of calories plus caffeine, which we are talking about. I tell you, I love every morning 6 o'clock, I get my dose of Nescafe coffee, which is my favorite. It takes me 2 minutes to make it in a microwave, and I love it. And I'm sure you too love your coffee, tea, or soft drink. But here are some recommendations. Keep your coffee intake to no more than 2 to 3 cups per day, or try to minimize it, or maybe replace one drink with a caffeine-free drink, especially if it's keeping you awake at night. And as I told you, you definitely need to avoid caffeine-containing drinks, especially after 4 or 5 p.m., because you are going to be awake till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, which means you're going to be late to your work. Pregnant women need to be very careful about excess caffeine, because excess caffeine, as I told you, can cause palpitations, irregular heart rhythms, and it can also affect a pregnant mother. So I would suggest keeping your caffeine intake to no more than 1 to 2 cups per day. And the best thing is caffeine-free, calorie-free drinks, or drink I should say, which is water. And you may want to get used to just drinking water and just maybe drink your favorite drink once in the morning or maybe once in the evening. And what can I say about energy drinks? It's a huge industry. I'm not going to bash the energy industry, because if you want to drink an energy drink, that's your choice, but I would suggest you carefully read the label. If it says 200 or 300 milligrams of caffeine, I would think twice before I drink that, because you are prone for significant side effects on your heart, on your brain function, and you may even develop irregular heart rhythms. That's a brief overview of caffeine. I hope I haven't spoiled your appetite for coffee, but I love my coffee, and here is my cup of coffee, which I'm going to go and drink it now. You have a nice day, and you have been watching Triple N Media. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we also have a social media page, which is Triple N Media. I would like you to please visit our page, where we keep you abreast of what's happening in and around Houston area and from around the world. And please like our Facebook page. Until next time, I am Dr. NIK NIKAM, and you have been watching Triple N Media. Thank you so much.